Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podcast, the Drafted Up Podcast. Week 13, man, is in the books.
Running over.
We're gonna go over our players of the week, the strong boys, and the players of the week wimpy boys. For week 13 for fantasy football. That's Nick. I'm Theo. This is the Drafted Up Podcast. You're watching or listening, so you know where the show is: Spotify, Apple, YouTube. If you haven't already and you've got this far, subscribe, like the channel, put notifications on so you know when our videos go up, all that good stuff. It helps grow the community. It helps grow the show, and we appreciate y'all out there. Nicholas, how are you doing this cold, miserable Tuesday evening?
I think that one word says it pretty well. Miserable, dude. Fantasy's been rough the last couple weeks, I'm not going to lie to you, but hitting hard in our home league, fighting for the playoff spot because we have 1 week left. So 1 week to get into the playoffs, make or break week for you, me, and a couple other teams, to be honest. So We'll see what happens, but it's kind of looking like both repeat. The championship in our home league has been the same game the last 2 years. It's been Ed and I, a buddy of ours, the last 2 years. I won 2 years ago. He won last year. It's looking like both of us aren't even going to make the playoffs this year.
Well, so it's definite that Ed's not making the playoffs. Well, he has 2 wins.
Bad year for that boy, for sure. Yeah, but I'm scrapping, dude. I'm still in it.
He did the classic buy-in for the championship. It worked, and this year it is
he's suffering.
He's suffering for sure. An interesting week 13. Happy Thanksgiving. Hopefully you guys had a nice little Thanksgiving if you do celebrate. But it felt like the NFL gave us those 3 games on Thursday, and then the rest of the week was just kind of ho-hum until the Broncos' excitement on Sunday night, and then you guys kind of ruined it on Monday.
Well, that's what the Giants are good for. Oh, God. I love that the Giants are just still in the same predicament as we were when we had an actual head coach. So it's been a phenomenal couple weeks without Brian Dable. So I'm just thrilled that we have an owner and a GM that know exactly how to run a football team. So I'm thrilled.
Everyone loves Joe Shane. But hey, I made the joke that the Vikings could go get Jameis Winston in the offseason, but Joe Shane sneakily signed him to a 2-year deal, and I don't think anyone knew that. Yeah. So, Jameis will be there next year, which is great for the Giants and great for Jackson Dart, that they can have so that might be the best thing that Joe Shane's done for the Giants.
That's true, because he wasn't even the Jackson Dart pick. He didn't want Jackson Dart. That was the Brian Dable pick. So and I'm really thrilled that we have Abdul Carter riding the bench for the last first quarter of every game. So it's going great. As a Giants fan, I'm just thriving, dude. Everything's fine. It's all good. It's good. We're fine. We're great. We're a great football team. It's fun.
Hey, at least
at least we scored. At least we scored, baby.
Yeah. Max Brosmer, God bless his soul.
He tried. He showed up. Him. He played.
He played, and it was a tough game for the young man with his 4 interceptions, no touchdowns. Well, he did throw a touchdown to Ernest Jones of the Seattle Seahawks.
To the Seahawks,
yeah. It was a rough outing for him. It hurt the Vikings offense as a whole. Defense showed up. It was nice to see them contain the Seahawks offense the best they could with an offense that was inept. So I guess it'll be back to J.J. McCarthy, and we'll see. I low-key hope the Vikings go out and trade for Mac Jones in the offseason and let him compete. Let him compete with J.J. McCarthy, maybe even start over him. And I don't know.
Yeah, it wouldn't hurt. You guys definitely need to go out and get an option. It's not Max Brosmer is not it. He's not going to be your backup option next year. You need to go out and get an actual guy that can either light a fire under JJ's ass, or worst case scenario, they take his job. So something needs to happen for sure.
Yeah. Can't believe I missed Carson Wentz.
Yeah, what a time, dude. What a time to be alive that you miss Carson Wentz, because it's man. I'm not saying I'm right on JJ, man, but he is struggling, dude. He's playing some of the worst football I've seen someone play. I'm not going to lie to you.
I honestly contribute it to just lack of reps. He didn't play at all last year due to injury. He plays week 1 this year, plays week 2, gets hurt week 2, misses 4 games, and now he's hurt again. So he's not getting the time to develop because you can only do so much developing in practice and whatnot. And this isn't a situation where the Vikings are that they can like Jordan Love him and he can sit for 3 or 4 years like Jordan Love did in Green Bay. And I don't know. I don't necessarily put it all on McCarthy. I don't put a lot of it on Kevin O'Connell either. Like it really, for me, as we get off on this tangent, it comes from Kwesi, our general manager. If you look at the 4 drafts we've had under him, they've been maybe the worst 4-year stretch of draft classes in recent memory.
Yeah,
his first class in 2022. The only player still on the team is Jalen Naylor, and we picked him in the 6th round.
Yeah, and like nothing against Jalen Naylor, he's not winning any games. He's a really good role playing receiver. He's not.
He's like a good 3-4 receiver.
Exactly, he's not a difference maker, and you guys have missed on a ton of like draft picks, and it's hurting you guys. Like you guys need to be hitting on a good draft. You're looking at 2 to 3 starters, and then that's an amazing draft. That's what every team should be striving for. Philadelphia does it every single year almost. They're out there getting 2 to 3 starters in the drafts, and then just depth guys and pieces to play when need be. And that's how really good teams draft. Philly, Kansas City, Baltimore, Buffalo. All of these teams are really good for a reason, and they hit on all of their draft picks. So hitting on draft picks is really important, and it's definitely showing up right now for Minnesota. You guys are struggling.
Yeah, like thankfully we've hit on a decent amount of our free agent guys that we've brought in.
Yeah, for sure. It's saving you guys.
It helped stem from that blow, but yeah, right now, like, sure, we drafted JJ McCarthy, who the book's open on him. We don't know what's going to happen there. Dallas Turner is looking to starting to shape up, so that's great news. Will Reichert has been great. That's all from 2024. But yeah, it's been tough. Like the guys like that we drafted Tay Felton last year, pick 102, or this year. He's barely played. Like we're not getting these guys on the field either. And then like Donovan Jackson's been good, but you use a high capital draft pick on a guard. It's questionable, but thankfully he's worked out when he's been out there. But yeah, the drafting has hurt the depth of this team and just like it's kind of limit the ceiling of what the Vikings, the roster from top to bottom is good. Yeah. But a lot of that's just because we've brought in a ton of free agents and we've hit on major picks prior to Kwesi and Kevin O'Connell.
Yeah, for sure. You guys are really paying off on like you fixed your O-line in the offseason, but you have also drafted your left tackle a couple years ago before your GM and whatnot. So like you guys have hit on all of these, but with your current like regime, it's been pretty rough drafting. So that's probably something to look. I don't think you're going to fire your GM in the offseason.
I do.
You think it's going to happen?
I think it's going to be Kevin O'Connell's going to be like, one of us has to go. I'm putting my foot down. Looks like, I imagine as a coach, it has to be frustrating that like none of these players are, you're either trading, you're moving around. Like Kwesi gets a little cute. He trades a lot. He's always maneuvering and like none of these guys are working for the most part. And like that has to be a frustrating thing for a coach. Like you can only do so much with the guys you can plug in there. But I do think he gets fired because I don't think there's a chance we move on from Kevin O'Connell.
No, I agree. And any organization should want to keep Kevin O'Connell over your GM. Kevin O'Connell is one of the best coaches in football, and he has proven that consistently with the way he runs your offense. And I get he's been struggling this year, but I don't think that really falls on Kevin O'Connell. Like it's a group effort when you guys are struggling. And honestly, your defense hasn't been as good as Minnesota's defense has been good in the past. It showed up a little bit for Seattle, but something needs to change, even if it's firing your GM. I get that, but like you guys have to start making something different because it's not working right now.
Yeah, and the window is only going to be so big because we are negative $30+ million in cap debt next year, which the cap's fake. You can maneuver around that, but we draft Kwesi's with this obsession with, doing it with a rookie quarterback, so it frees up all this money that you can spend elsewhere. Well, now you got to capitalize on this before you have to pay this quarterback or start over and find a new one.
Yeah, for sure. And honestly, if it goes the way it's been going, you guys are not going to give JJ a contract. I get it's only his second year, on most likely a 5-year contract because of the 5th-year option being drafted in the first. But I don't know, man. You guys got to change it up. I don't think you're going to be in the same boat as the Giants. You're not going to be looking for a head coach. I think it would be a GM over a head coach. So I think we're going to be in the opposite markets come the offseason.
Yeah. All right, let's get on to some news, and then we'll dive on into all this. Sorry about that little tangent there as we get personal about our own teams. Justin Herbert, superstar quarterback of the Los Angeles Chargers. He hurt his left hand, so his non-throwing hand, against the Raiders. He tried coming back out. He was out there for a little bit. It was a little touch and go. But he got hand surgery, and he's questionable for Monday, but he's probably going to be out there. This dude is like the second coming of Matt Stafford. Well, he will attempt to play through anything, so I do not expect him to miss a game against the Philadelphia Eagles, but we'll see what kind of hindrance it has on the offense for fantasy purposes.
Yeah, especially since it's Monday night. He has an extra day to kind of rest, and his practice schedule will be a little offset because it's a Monday night game, but I expect Herbert to be out there because, like you said, he does not miss games. He is one of the toughest quarterbacks in the National Football League. So, and it's a huge game, dude. It's versus Philly in prime time, Monday night. The world is going to be watching. I really do expect Herbert to be out there if he's cleared to go. Yeah,
I absolutely agree. Some superstars who are injured. Amon-Ra, St. Brown, he got hurt in the Thanksgiving game. If you started him, he got you a goose egg. We won't talk about him in Players of the Week, though, because injuries, we kind of exclude them. Yeah. But I don't think he's going to be out there on Thursday. We'll see, so continue to monitor that. Marvin Harrison Jr., he came back on Sunday, and he got hurt again. This time now it's a heel injury, so he's questionable heading into next week. Drake London has a chance of playing. We'll see what the Falcons do with him as they're essentially eliminated. And then T. Higgins still in concussion protocol, so continue to monitor that. Seeing as it's Tuesday, still in there, he's got to come out Wednesday if he's going to play. If he's still in there tomorrow, I think we're going to see another week without T. Higgins.
As long as you're able to get one full practice in, you can play. That's the NFL rule. So he technically has till Friday to get that practice in, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think T. Higgins misses another week, unfortunately.
Yeah, that seems to be trending towards the case where most concussions are missing like 2 weeks now. So we shall see. And then final bit of news, Adam Thielen was released by the Minnesota Vikings. He asked to be released. The Vikings, they obliged, gave him his release because he said this was his final season and he was hoping to be more involved somewhere. And now he's going to Pittsburgh where I guess the opportunity to be involved is there. But we shall see. At least this is a team with a better chance to make the playoffs in his regard. So
kind of, yeah.
Adam Thielen will be in Pittsburgh. I don't know what kind of role he'll have going forward, but it gives them another option, at least a reliable option per se, next to DK Metcalf.
Yeah, I think this is real life fantasy relevant, not fantasy, considering the playoffs most likely start next week in most leagues. And then I'm not really confident to start Thielen. Yeah. I'm not going to do that in the next 3 weeks in a playoff matchup. I would have to pass on that. But I think it does give them a little bit of more cushion if they happen to make the playoffs and Thielen gets more adjusted to the playbook and the team and the schemes. He's a really good receiver, man, and he can help out any offense. He is one of the best route runners in football.
Yeah. All right. You ready to dive into our big boys, our strong boys, our quarterbacks of the week?
One would say our players of the week.
There we go. I was like, he doesn't have the signs this week.
Oh, I got the fucking signs, brother.
He's got them. All right. Patrick Mahomes on Thursday, 261 yards, 4 touchdowns. Jordan Love also on Thursday, 234 yards, 4 touchdowns. We're entering Toyotathon, and this is when Jordan Love goes off. So monitor that if you're into like weird stuff like that. Marcus Mariota. Nice game against Denver, 294, 2 touchdowns, also had 55 on the ground. Bryce Young, as the Panthers upset the Rams. 3 touchdowns, a little over 200 through the air. Dak Prescott, 320 and 2. Jacoby Brissett just continues to find his way into QB1 territory, 301 and 2.
Dude.
Trevor Lawrence, a nice game against the Titans, 2 touchdowns. Tyrod Taylor, 2 touchdowns, 1 through the air, 1 on the ground. Jared Goff, Drake May, Joe Burrow, and Tyler Shuck round out the top 12 or QB1s this week.
I'll take my bow to the Bengals beating the Ravens, by the way.
Yeah.
That was
Maybe I just got to
nice
not pick the Bengals. And
that one made me feel so good watching that game, dude. I'm like, hell yeah, dude, the Bengals are making the playoffs.
The first half of that game was a tough watch. It was so boring. And then they turned it on. And yeah, the Bengals defense, kudos to them. I'll give them a little shout out.
3 weeks they played decent. Yeah.
Yeah. They played really good against Lamar and crew. They really shut down Baltimore, and it made it easier for Joe Burrow in his return. Anyone in this group you want to chat about, like focus on?
Jacoby Brissett would be the really only one that's like, I get he has a couple rough matchups. He's got like the Rams and then Houston and Atlanta.
How do you bench him?
Exactly. And then championship week, he plays Cincinnati. I get they play decent, but he is literally passing the ball 40 times a game, 49 times a game, 57 times a game, 44 times a game.
This year's Joe
Flacco. Exactly. And that guy was playable all throughout fantasy playoffs last year. If they're letting this guy pass 40 times a game, almost at a minimum the last 4 weeks, because 40 is his lowest, you have to start that guy in almost every matchup, dude. He is cooking right now in fantasy.
Do you worry that once Trey Benson's back, that they kind of shift the focus, try to run more, and it kind of takes away the appeal of Jacoby Brissett?
I really don't think so, because like I brought up, the teams they're playing, the Rams, can't really run on the Rams, can't really run on Houston. Atlanta's got a defense that's pretty good, so I think it's going to be through the air for Arizona going forward, and especially with Trey Benson coming back. I get he's had a long ramp-up window and a good timetable to come back, but he's not going to be 100%. Every guy coming back is not 100%. They're going to be still mixing in Donovan Knight and Michael Carter, and Trey Benson will be the lead back, but I really think if Arizona wants to compete in games, it's going to be on the back of Jacoby Brissett getting that ball to Michael Wilson, Trey McBride, Marvin Harrison if he's out there. Greg Dortch is a really good PPR option with Brissett as well. So I think this offense is at its best with Brissett.
Yeah, like on paper, you can make a case like, oh, Marvin Harrison's injured again. Like, yeah, that might hurt the offense, but like we haven't seen Marv the last 2 weeks prior to this week. And Michael Wilson was a top 5 wide receiver, and Greg Dortch was a playable option at wide receiver. Like, and obviously having Trey McBride there helps, as Trey McBride has just been loving Jacoby Brissett as his quarterback. That, like even with the injuries and Marv going down, like this offense is still clicking. Like, I don't see a way you can move on fantasy wise from Jacoby Brissett. Like, I agree with you completely.
Yeah, I agree. I think Brissett should be picked up in nearly 100% of leagues, and he should be started in probably 90% of them. Like, if you got guys like Josh Allen, you're not going to play Brissett over. Mahomes, you're probably not going to play him over. Oh, man, there's not many other guys, to be honest, because Brissett...
I would play him over Lamar right now.
For sure. Lamar has been struggling, dude. The whole Ravens in a whole have been... pretty hit or miss, but I would play Brissett pretty much over most of those guys. He's been cooking, dude. He's literally been a top 12 quarterback every single week he started.
It's also crazy. Like, you hear Jacoby Brissett and you think he's like 36, 37. He's 32.
Yeah.
And he's probably their quarterback next year. They signed him to a 2-year deal.
I think they'll go out and replace him, but he's going to easily be that backup. I think they're going to bring someone in.
You think they're going to bring a starter in? I don't.
I think they.
I think they'll either bring in a rookie, or they will sign someone to be a viable backup to Jacoby Brissett. But I expect this team to go with him, and then they're either going to cut, or I don't know if they can trade Murray. His contract's too insane. I don't think they're going to get anything of value for him. That they might just end up eating that and cutting him.
Oh yeah, he's he's not going to be there next year. We've already talked about that multiple times. Like, Kyler Murray is not going to be a Cardinal next year. It's not going to happen.
Give him to Kevin O'Connell.
Yeah, sure. There are multiple teams that could use him. You guys, the Jets, the Browns, if they want to go that option. The Raiders could use him. Mm-hmm. There's a place for Kyler Murray next year. It's going to happen. He's going to be a starting quarterback.
Yeah, like I think the only one I'll touch base on is more real life. Drake May.
You think he's the MVP? You think he passed Baker?
I was going to say,
you think he's him or Stafford? Stafford lost. Baker's.
Baker since entering the MVP, he's just kind of
he's stumbling
apart. And he's been hurt. The whole team's been hurt. So
it's not really Baker,
but. It was Stafford losing to, being outplayed by Bryce Young and losing to Carolina, and Drake May just chugging through here. Obviously he's played an extra game. They have their bye week this week, but that's what I was going to bring up, that Drake May, like right now, should be the betting odds favorite. He would be my pick for MVP. It's close between him and Stafford, but right now I would lean Drake May. Josh McDaniels has him playing incredible ball, and, I low-key think that's who the Giants should go out and consider for their head coach, Josh McDaniels. I think him with Jackson Dart.
Oh,
I know they had Brian Daboll, and that's what it should be, but Jackson Dart has a little Drake May, like playing-wise, a little bit more athletic, but same traits, and look what McDaniels is doing, but I don't know if McDaniels even wants to be a head coach anymore, and he just kind of, but I like that pairing with Jackson Dart. So shout out Josh McDaniels, just continuing to be a great offensive coordinator, and as I think it played a big part in Drake May's
always has been here. Like he is one of the best offense coordinators in the last 15, 20 years. He's been so consistent everywhere he goes. Obviously, his blemishes is when he becomes a head coach, and I do think McDaniels deserves another shot as a head coach, and I would probably welcome him with open arms. I'm not going to lie. I've always liked McDaniels. I do think he's a really good coach at the end of the day. I think he'll get another shot at the head coach if he wants it. That's what it really comes down to, because I know his time as a head coach, he was miserable, dude.
Yeah.
But quick shout out to Matt Stafford, though. He has the longest streak now in NFL history with the longest gaps between throwing an interception and touchdown. He threw 28 touchdowns without throwing an interception. So Matt Stafford is a first ballot Hall of Famer in my eyes. In my eyes, he's always been like better than Aaron Rodgers. And I get looking at that as like now it is what it is. But I'm talking when Aaron Rodgers was in his prime. Matt Stafford was a better all around quarterback than Aaron Rodgers was. He was not given
he was just stuck
the
in
talent
Detroit
around him. Yeah, it was literally just him and Megatron for years in Detroit, just balling out. And look what happens when he went to LA, dude. The first year there, right off the bat, he wins them a Super Bowl, dude. Like, Matt Stafford is, in my eyes, one of the greatest quarterbacks I've ever seen play football.
I'm not concerned with how the Rams played and whatnot against. I think it was more of a positive for Carolina than it is a negative for the Rams. Like, I just think the Panthers are a really good football team. An inconsistent football team, because you never know. Yeah. But like this is a team that's beat Green Bay and has beat the Rams this year. We'll see. Like it's exciting to see Carolina like be here, because like they've been a bottom dweller what feels like the last 4 or 5 years, and Bryce Young's playing decent football. I think Dave Canales has been a really good coach. Like he should probably get some credit in the head coach of the year. I don't know if he wins it, but his name should at least be in that ring. Ready to move on to running backs?
Yeah, I think so. Pretty good.
RB1 on the week, Bijan Robinson, 142 yards, 1 touchdown, 5 grabs, 51 through the air. Kamani Vidal, 126-1. DeAndre Swift, 125-1. Devin Singletary for the Giants, 68 yards, a touchdown, 3 grabs, 34 yards. RJ Harvey, 2 touchdowns. Thankfully, because his yardage weren't there. 35 on the ground, 27 through the air. Devon Achane, no catches. Just 134 yards, 1 touchdown.
Yeah.
Kyle Monungai, both Bears running backs finding their way on the list, 130-1. Chuba Hubbard, the Carolina brought him back from the dead, 83 yards, 2 catches, and a receiving touchdown. James Cook continues to be great. Chase Brown continues to be great. Derrick Henry, Christian McCaffrey, they round out the top 12 for running backs.
Yeah, real quick, right with those guys, Javonte Williams, he has been a little bit of like a ho-hum kind of guy that you've started. It hasn't really been a Javonte kind of thing, but he was used in the passing game again. He had 3 catches, 21 yards, and a touchdown. And again, when he's used in the passing game, that's when his fantasy relevance is way better. He was RB13, right outside the top 12. So hopefully Dallas realizes this and they can just start getting this guy just a little bit more involved in the passing game, because that's when he can really shine as a fantasy guy.
Yeah, shout out Dallas. Beating Philly and Kansas City in the span of 1 week.
I think it was only a 4 or 5 day stretch that they beat Kansas City, and then they beat
Sunday,
Philly.
and then Chiefs on Thanksgiving. They find themselves 6-6-1 now.
I think I also picked Chicago when we did the Thanksgiving stuff.
You did. You maniac.
For sure. Yeah, it all worked out for this guy somehow.
And we both picked the Jets and they won. What a week.
It was a weird week, brother.
Chase Brown, we talked about him last week, that these last couple weeks he's just been like, pretty much since Joe Flacco took over, he's been a top 12 running back, and he is seeing this utilization. He had 7 grabs on Thursday,
which is crazy.
Yeah. And this was the confidence we had in him at the beginning of the year. So it is good to see that continuing with Joe Burrow now.
With Burrow back,
it helps. And really, Devon Achane has just been the shining star of the Miami Dolphins. He's handling this workload. He is just continuously putting in consistent effort. And I think next year I think we got to have the confidence to put him as a round 1 guy.
Yeah, for sure. He should be going in the middle to the end of round 1. It's not even like a question in my eyes. He's probably going to be like a top 5 RB without a doubt in my eyes. Maybe RB6 at like the latest, but he's so good, dude. He's so explosive.
If Mike McDaniel's not there, does that then kind of shy you away? I mean, obviously depending on who they bring in as a coach, but this team's playing for McDaniel. They won again. They beat New Orleans. It was way closer than I thought it was going to be in New Orleans. It brought this one back, but I'm starting to lean that McDaniel's going to be there next year.
I kind of think they are, man. They're just playing hard football at this point. Like they've been doing that for, I'm not even going to lie, like 4 or 5 weeks. And I get like some of the scores don't reflect that at the end of the game, but like they're just always in games. And like the last 3 games for Achane, dude, have been nuts. 134 on the ground, 120 on the ground, 174 on the ground. Almost a touchdown in all of those games. He has 3 touchdowns in the last 3 weeks. He is insane. He is playing out of this world.
Yeah. James Cook, more real life related. When Buffalo gives this dude the rock and let him be the focal point of the offense, they are so much better. They win football games. And when they kind of get away from that, we kind of see it in shambles. Now, I'm not saying that's like, I think that's more of a Joe Brady thing. It's definitely not a Josh Allen thing, but like maybe if they got Josh Allen, a legitimate wide receiver here, like does their general manager just watch tape from 2016 and was like, oh, they just brought in Brandon Cooks and he caught the first pass of the game, didn't catch another pass for the rest of the game. We're like, oh, Brandon Cooks, he was good once. Like it won't surprise me if Buffalo does not get a receiver next year and they bring in DeAndre Hopkins. They're like, hey, that guy was good.
Try to bring Julio Jones out of retirement. I hear Odell's also looking for a job, so
yeah,
they're welcome to have any of these guys. But Josh Allen, look what he did with Steph Diggs, dude. Like both those guys together were unstoppable. Like Diggs and Allen were on fire. If you would have that combo now with how much they're using James Cook, the Bills' offense would only flow so much better, and it would open so much up for Shakir as like the 2 or the slot, and Dalton Kincaid if he's healthy. And like this offense could be so much better than it actually is. So the Bills are doing Josh Allen so dirty, dude. Like go out and get this guy an actual weapon. Like maybe even 2 of them, because Keon Coleman, I can almost guarantee he's not going to be a Buffalo Bill next year.
If I'm Buffalo, I'm calling Philadelphia. I'm asking what they want for A.J. Brown. I will throw in Keon Coleman as well, because Keon Coleman just feels like something like he's the type of player Howie Roseman is going to go out and try to acquire a reclamation project, and it's either going to work out or he's going to somehow ship this guy for a day 3, like a 4th round or a 3rd round pick. If it doesn't work out, like he's just the type of player that Howie Roseman would go out and acquire. So like maybe, the asking price, I don't know how high it's going to be. I don't know what anyone's going to give for AJ Brown, but if I'm Buffalo, I have a late first. I'm giving up a 1 and Keon Coleman for AJ Brown, like a 4th round pick.
Yeah, dude, I would do that for sure. And it just kind of sucks that AJ Brown, had a Mondo week, which we'll talk about in a little bit.
Just transition that right into wide receivers, unless there's any running back you want to talk about.
No, I don't think so. You pretty much hit like Chase Brown, James Cook, guys like that. Kyle Nunn guy, real quick, has been just a really good fantasy guy for probably since like week 6.
He keeps scoring touchdowns.
He just keeps scoring. He had 130 yards on the ground. Week 9, he had 176 yards on the ground. Like, the dude can ball, and we talked about him all offseason. It's the first time the Bears running backs, 2 of them had like 100 yards since like 1938.
Yeah.
It's something crazy, like some unbelievable stat like that. Like, it's insane. Like, Ben Johnson can get the most out of anybody. He's such a good coach, dude.
And they're in this gauntlet here. They got Philly, now they got Green Bay this week. We're going to see how legit this Chicago Bears team is. And like
I'm giving it to them. Like they're not like great or anything, but the Bears are they're one of the better teams of football. The Bears are a really good team.
Like as a Vikings fan, obviously I have this disdain for the Bears, but Bears fans, they're people, and I'm happy their team's seceding because they've kind of just been like in this muck of just misery for the last couple of years. And I think a lot of it is Ben Johnson. I think Ben Johnson is the guy we thought he was as a head coach, and he's got this team playing great football. And I don't think they're going to make a Super Bowl run. I don't even know if they win a playoff game, but they're playing fun football. They're playing fundamental football. They're playing smart football that maybe if the ball gets rolling and things get right for them, maybe they do make a nice little playoff run, which would be a huge success. I think just getting to the playoffs is considered a successful season for the Chicago Bears.
I don't even know if they necessarily have to get to the playoffs, but if it comes down like the last week, they're fighting for
being 9-8-3. I think missing the playoffs now would be like, oh, what happened?
I agree. It just hurts that they're playing in a division with the Packers and the Lions and just the NFC in general. Like the Bears will be fighting for a playoff spot come one of the last weeks in football, and I think it's already been a successful season for Ben Johnson as a rookie head coach.
Yeah. Chicago, they did play Philadelphia, and you brought up A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown, 10 grabs, 132 yards, 2 touchdowns. Absolute machine out there. It seems when the Eagles lose games, A.J. Brown puts up his best work. So, probably deep down inside, he's loving that.
By the way, the top guys at the last 2 positions have been on the same team that I lost to this week. He had Bijan, he had AJ Brown, and I'm pretty sure when we get to tight ends, he had tight end 1 on the week. So
he did.
I literally could not have played a worse matchup this week.
Yeah. Rashee Rice also, like the top 4 receivers all on Thursday. Rashee Rice against the Cowboys, 892, 2 touchdowns. Jameson Williams 7 for 144 and 1. And now with Amon-Ra potentially missing a week, maybe 2. Like your upbringing of Jameson Williams being a league winner, that kind of takes a tick up because now he's wide receiver 1 for the time being, and I don't think the production falls. I think we're going to be seeing Jameson Williams as a top 15 play going forward if that's the case. And then Dontavian Wicks, 6 for 94, 2 touchdowns. Adonai Mitchell finds his way in here, 8 for 102 and a touchdown. CeeDee Lamb, Devon Vele, Terry McLaurin, welcome back. Devontae Adams had 2 touchdowns. Only on 4 grabs. Jacoby Myers, Nico Collins, Christian Watson round out the top 12.
Adams is having a crazy season, dude. Like, if you tell me Devontae Adams has 14 touchdowns already, I would be like, oh, he has to have close to 1,000 yards. Wrong. He doesn't even have 700 yards. Like, they're using him as a goal line receiver, and I've never in my life have seen this work or
Sean
even
McVay
be done.
Creating new stuff.
And he's using Devontae Adams the best way. Devontae Adams is one of the best high point ball guys in NFL history. He will out jump 99% of the NFL and go get that ball where he needs to get it, and it is working almost 100% of the time.
Yeah,
so
I love Devontae Adams, and I was worried about him going to the Rams just because I just didn't feel like he was a schematic fit for what they do. Like his stuff, like the small underneath, like that's not his game. But Sean McVay has been a wizard as always, and now he's just like, I'm creating a position, the goal line wide receiver, and he's just gets to the goal line. And it's hurt Kyron Williams, whereas like that's always been his thing. The Rams get to the goal line, and Kyron Williams always gets touchdowns. Well, now these touchdowns are all going to Devontae Adams, and it's been a revelation for Matt Stafford as well, as it's propelled him into MVP talks. But yeah, Devontae Adams, we're going to look back at it as one of the weirdest seasons ever, where he's going to finish with like 900 yards, maybe not even get 1,000, and have 17 touchdowns, maybe more.
I think there's a chance he gets 1,000 yards. He only has 5 games left, but he needs 300 yards. But he's having such a crazy season, dude. Like, he has 52 catches, almost 700 yards, and then the 14 touchdowns. He only needs 4 more to have a career high. Like, 18 is his career high, so he could easily tie that in 5 games. He scored in 6 straight games. It's insane what's going on.
Yeah, it's a wild year for him. Let's try to sort out the Packers receiving room. Dontavian Wicks. Do you think this was the classic Dontavian Wicks flash in the pan game, and we don't really hear much from him? Because Jaden Reed is on his way back.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't take too much into consideration with Wicks. Wicks is a really good receiver. I've constantly brought that up.
Yeah. I love Dontavian Wicks. I wish he was somewhere open.
Exactly. Like, his ability to get open is with the best in the NFL. He definitely has a drop issue, which I get it's a problem as a wide receiver, but he is so talented. He's going to have these spike weeks because of how good he is. Unfortunately, with Jaden Reed coming back, Christian Watson's heavily involved in this offense now that he's fully going. I really don't see Wicks as someone I can rely on.
I think this was...
I wouldn't say it's like Wicks in general, but the Packers have a really good wide receiver schedule. They have Chicago, who's a good matchup. And I get they play Denver the first week of the playoffs, but then they have Chicago again and Baltimore. Mm-hmm. These are teams you can pass on, and these are teams I would like to play receivers against.
Yeah, Jordan Love is going to have a nice little playoff schedule. I've gone out. I've got Jaden Reed in a few leagues where he was out on waivers, threw him on my IR. And once he's back, like I think he is a plug-in right away. You can put him right back in your lineup. And then I think you can continue rolling with Christian Watson as well. Let's talk about the 2 outliers here, Adonai Mitchell, Devon Vele.
Mm-hmm.
Do we see any long-standing for them going forward this season?
No, I wouldn't say Adonai Mitchell, AD coming out. You can't rely on that. I get he's only going to get more involved as he gets into the new system with the Jets, but I can't rely on a Jets wide receiver that's not Garrett Wilson, and Garrett Wilson's obviously not going to be playing. Mm-hmm. And then Devon Vele, I would still take like Troy Franklin and Courtland Sutton over him, maybe even Marvin Mims. But
if both guys were out there, I would. I
forgot Devon Vele plays for New Orleans. I forgot he plays for New Orleans now. He does not play for Denver.
A 4th-round pick for him.
I get that. No, I would still.
I just thought you were naming names that you would just take over him in terms of just fantasy. But I would rather roster A.D. Mitchell just because he could be the number 1 there. And Tyrod Taylor is going to be the quarterback, so at least there's a competent guy back there. Not that Tyler Shuck's not competent, but Devon Vele could have been like the benefactor of Alvin Kamara not being out there, whereas I thought it would be Taysom Hill. Maybe just more work went to Vele because Miami did a decent job of shutting down Juwan Johnson, so he became the number 2 option outside of Chris Olave, and he capitalized. But I think Adonai Mitchell has more consistent work going forward than Vele does, just because of the lack of passing options in New York.
Yeah, and A.D. Mitchell has been seeing a good amount of targets since been going to the Jets. 6 targets, 7 targets, 12 targets. And then this week he happened to bring an 8 for 102, which is a Mondo game. Had his first touchdown of the season, maybe even his career, to be honest. So it's pretty exciting for if he's able to keep this going. I loved A.D. Mitchell coming out of college. He was one of my top 5 receivers.
Yeah,
in
you
the class.
Was like your wide receiver 4.
I was
you were in.
very, very high on him. So I get why the Jets wanted this guy in the trade, and Tyrod Taylor can throw a ball, so could be all right.
Yeah. Ready to move on to tight ends?
How confident are you with Terry McLaurin since he's back?
Yeah, Terry McLaurin, 796, 1 touchdown, and if Jaden Daniels is back, I think that continues to bump his stock up. It could be if you manage to make the playoffs and you kept Terry McLaurin afloat, might not be a bad thing having going into the stretch run here.
You would play him over like DK because you hate DK Metcalf.
Yeah. I
would you play him? You'd play him over Addison?
Over who?
Jordan Addison.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd play DK over Jordan Addison.
I'm just trying to name receiver. Jacoby Myers going forward, him or Terry McLaurin. Jacoby Myers has been pretty good the last 3 weeks.
I think I would lean Myers just because I don't know the health of Jaden Daniels and Trevor Lawrence have been playing good football the last couple weeks. So I would lean Myers in that situation.
McLaurin or Chris Olave?
Who?
McLaurin or Chris Olave?
Give me Olave. He was a top 20 play this week. Like I didn't bring his name up, but he found his way into the top 20 at wide receiver. So I'll keep rolling with him.
Yep, I totally agree.
Yeah, shout out Jalen Coker. He had a nice game for the Panthers. I love that guy. Cokeheads unite. Jalen Coker, that's my dude. Ready to move on to tight ends?
Yeah, let's get it.
Brock Bowers, he was tight end 1.
Shocking.
Four catches, 63 yards, 2 touchdowns. He had the Devontae Adams special. Trey McBride, tight end 2, 8 for 82, another touchdown. Hey, how about Zach Ertz? 10 for 106. Travis Kelce, 5 for 45 and a touchdown. That's the top 5. And then outside that, you got Kyle Pitts coming in at 6, 7 for 82. Evan Ingram, Brenton Strange, Isaiah Likely, Cole Kmet, Dalton Schultz kind of tails off here in the top 10. But this felt like a classic old school tight end performance where there's only like 3 real relevant ones for Travis Kelce.
Yeah, nothing crazy this week for tight ends. Obviously, Brock Bowers doing what he does, Trey McBride doing what he does, and Zach Ertz is Zach Ertz. He's going to have like little weird spike weeks like this, but like
it was good to see him do it with Mariota. Yeah,
which he hasn't done, so that was very, very nice. Brenton Strange the last 2 weeks since he's come back.
That's what I was going to bring up.
He's startable, dude. He's been 5 for 93 and then 3 for 45.
Tight ends.
Yeah, he's good going forward just in general. I think he should be started. We talked about him a little bit very early in the season that he was one of those guys. He's young, he's athletic, he's explosive. If given the opportunity, he could be very involved. With Travis Hunter out, BTJ's a little banged up. This offense needs Brenton Strange to step up, and he is that kind of tight end to do it.
The first place Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah, for sure.
Get bodied, Indy. Yeah, no, I absolutely agree though on Brenton Strange. I think they're just kind of ease Brian Thomas Jr. back into things. He wasn't really effective here this past week. Jacoby Myers is there. I think Brenton Strange probably you're looking at the second passing option in this offense, and Trevor Lawrence. Maybe it's time we start giving him his flowers. We've kind of been busting his balls for a hot minute here on the podcast, but last 4 or 5 weeks, Trevor Lawrence has been pretty good. Playing good football, and things are getting rolling here for Mr. Duval, Liam Cohen, and the Jaguars. But yeah, I think Brenton Strange. I think he is a viable if you have him. Just keep him in your lineup.
Yeah, I totally agree. I would probably. He's probably a top 5 tight end start next week.
Yeah, for sure. Dalton Schultz. We still. Another top 10 performance, 7 for 55. He continues finding his way in here, and I still never just feel comfortable starting him. But
no, I never.
Colts, so
I never would. So I'm not starting that guy. Kyle Pitts had a nice little week. He was right outside the top 5 with Kirk Cousins. I think he's more startable now than he was with Michael Penix. I don't think Drake London's going to play. I'm not going to lie to you. I think Atlanta being out, I don't think Drake London's going to probably suit up for most of the rest of the season, if at all. I think Kyle Pitts is going to be involved a lot more than he has been.
Yeah, as long as London's not out there, I think Kyle Pitts is a fine stream spot start at tight end. If London's out there, I kind of don't want any part of the Falcons passing game except him.
I agree because Darnell Mooney was even involved this week. Like he had a touchdown. It's too much.
Yeah. Are we starting to see a switch in Baltimore? Isaiah Likely, he was the guy this week, 5 for 95 against the putrid Bengals, forgetting how to cover tight ends, but he's more explosive than Andrews. That might have been where it got Cincinnati, but keep an eye on that with Isaiah Likely's involvement. I think that pretty much covers it on tight ends.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
All right, before we get into our week, boys, the little wimpy bad fantasy guys, let's shout out our affiliates over at W Energy and Finley Hats. W Energy, it's good, clean energy. The OG affiliate of the Drafted Up podcast. They got a ton of flavors. You can check them out at w.gg or download their app. Just search W in your app store, DUBBY. Use the code Drafted Up for a nice 15% discount. It's so long since I've had the actual number because it was 30 for the last month that I don't remember. It's 10. It's 10%. You get a cool 10% off.
I think it's a 10% discount.
It is 10. Man, the holidays really tripped me up with the 30 for the whole month of November. Now it is 10% off. Use the code Drafted Up. Good, clean energy. Be better. Eat that dub with W Energy. And then Finley Hats. Their hats are built for good times and long times. They got the little pouch inside the hat. You can stash your money in there or any other objects that would fit. They got the Stampede laces. You can customize those. They also have interchangeable pins that you can change out there. And then they got a ton of cool designs. They do weekly drops every Friday. So search them out. Search Finley Hats. And then in the description, there's a link. Click it. You'll get 15% off your first purchase over at Finley Hats. So join the force over at Finley Hats. All right, let's get into those real wimpy boys with the players of the week. There it is. There's the lovely sign with an EAK. We'll start at quarterbacks. Not a ton this week. Quarterbacks, decent performances. Baker Mayfield found his way here. Only 194-1 for Tampa Bay. Jackson Dart, tough go on Monday. 131 or 139, only a touchdown. Caleb Williams, it's not that he had a bad game for fantasy, but he really wasn't needed with freaking Monungai and DeAndre Swift both going over 100 yards. Lamar Jackson, an interception, wasn't effective on the ground, no touchdowns. Sam Darnold, same situation, only 120 yards, but he was absolutely not needed against the Vikings as Max Brosmer did his best to just let them win that game for Seattle. So Sam Darnold kind of found his way on here.
Rough week for Sam Darnold, even though it was the same scenario when they played Arizona and they blew him out and they just wasn't needed because of the defense winning that game. It's literally going to happen if your defense is that good. Did you bring up Aaron Rodgers?
No, I didn't bring up Rodgers because I figured nobody started him. So I kind of just tried to keep.
But the man's had like 3 fantasy points and played almost 85% of the snaps. So that guy is a bum.
If you started him over Mac Brosmer.
Oh, who's playing Mac Brosmer? So I think Trey Lance had more points than Mac Brosmer, and he played like 10% of the snaps. So keep that in mind.
Sidebar, I'm in this 2 QB league, and I just had a rough week because I had Kyler Murray. So I've just been streaming my second quarterback, and this past week I was just because Aaron Rodgers was my second quarterback, and I'm I can't keep going with Aaron Rodgers. And I went with Cam Ward, who probably did as good as Aaron Rodgers did.
I would say he did a little bit better. Hey, that's all that matters. You got the dub. Hey, Drake May, he does that. He has that effect on teams.
Yeah. I didn't put Aaron Rodgers on there because I figured nobody was playing him. But I won't pause or hesitate to take a shot at Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, exactly. That's the only reason I kind of brought him up.
I think my favorite was there was a meme going around because Rodgers got his nose busted up in that game, and it's all Aaron Rodgers looks like Kevin McAllister beat him up.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That is funny. Lamar Jackson has been playing really, really bad football the last 3 weeks, under double-digit points.
Hurt, right?
He has to still be hurt, which doesn't even make sense that he would be out there then. That's just, I get he's medically cleared, but he is not football cleared. Something's going on. He's not Lamar Jackson. He has Pittsburgh, which is a good matchup. Theoretically, their defense hasn't been great for the quarterbacks. So, but I don't know, man. Like you said, I would start Jacoby Brissett next week over Lamar Jackson if I had both guys.
I absolutely agree. The other one, Daniel Jones, he's not on here. He was fine, but he's not running as much.
He's also hurt.
He is hurt. He's got a slight fracture in his leg, but it's not like
Yeah.
a serious thing. But like that's concerning because like he's kind of gotten worse real life wise. The last like 3 weeks, we've seen a steady decline. That it is where I know K-Dog's going to be in the comments being like, here it is, Theo's just taking shots at the Colts. No, for fantasy purposes, I have Daniel Jones, and I'm very worried that I'm going to have to find a quarterback. Like, thankfully, I have Bo Nix.
Yeah, his last 2 rushing performances were literally 1 carry for 1 yard and 3 carries for 16. Like, that's not really going to get any type of fantasy value going forward. We need the Danny Jones that's going 6, 7, 8 carries for 40, 50 yards and maybe even a touchdown because he's got 4 rushing touchdowns on the year. Like, that's what we need for Danny Jones to be really fantasy relevant. It's that he has a really good baseline with his rushing stats. With this injury, if it is, I get it's not severe enough for him to miss time, but if it's severe enough where it's messing up his running ability, his fantasy value is going to take a hit.
Yeah. Anyone else in quarterbacks?
I really don't think so. You brought up all those guys. My God, Shadir Sanders had like 2 of the craziest plays that he missed Jerry Jeudy wide open deep downfield, and I just sat in my bed and laughed hysterically. But then the next drive, he literally hit Fanning on a beautiful touchdown. He read the route right, and he put the dime where it needed to be. So like, it was hot and cold. Like, he looked better than I thought he would last week. I will give him that. But he was still running back constantly. Like, he can't read a blitz. He was getting molly-whopped. He needs more time. He's not NFL ready.
Robert Saleh, a much better coordinator than whoever Vegas has out there, which is who Sanders got to play his first week. So Saleh was really pressuring him, and it took away those bootlegs that Stefanski was running to kind of help Sanders evade that pressure. So Robert Saleh did a great job just fixating on Shadir's flaws. But yeah, and they're going to continue going with Shadir. He's got a good matchup against Tennessee, so that'll be interesting. Him versus Cam Ward. I'm glad that's happening.
Yeah, I'm excited, but for sure.
I will give Shadir some props because a reporter tried to bait him into a Kevin Stefanski question. They're like, like trying to make it sense because like that's the whole debate. Like Kevin Stefanski hates Shadir Sanders. They're like, what'd you think of this play call? I know it wasn't a great play, so that probably had to eat you up. And he's just like, you're not going to get me up here to badmouth my coach. Like, that's the first rule. Like, I'm never going to speak ill of my coach. Like, that's the play he called. I didn't execute it. It's on me, not him. And he was just like, stop trying to get up here and bait me and starting drama. So kudos to him on that.
Yeah, he handled that well, which honestly is a little bit of a shock to me. I'm not going to lie to you. We've seen how he handled the draft process. But yeah, I just hope he honestly can just play a little bit better going forward because I don't want the kid to fail or anything, but given the chance, he had some nice throws, but he definitely, you could tell he's not NFL ready with reading defenses or kind of like predicting where receivers are going to be. He missed Jerry Jeudy so bad, dude.
Yeah, but Jerry Jeudy also, he deserves that. I would have missed Jerry Jeudy on purpose.
Yeah, I get it, but I was very anti-Jerry Jeudy all offseason, so you're preaching to the choir.
Yeah. Running backs. Josh Jacobs, 83 yards, good real life game. Coming off the injury against a tough Lions defense, but it didn't give you much for fantasy. 83 yards, only 1 catch. Rico Dowdle played second fiddle to Chuba Hubbard this week, 58 weird. Yards. So yeah, I think going forward, we might just kind of see Carolina ride whoever the hot hand is at running back. And this week it just happened to be Chuba. Devin Neal, he was the hotness, only 47 yards, wasn't really involved in the passing game. Travis Etienne, my play of the week, only 28 yards on the ground, 1 catch. Aaron Jones, 3 yards, 4 catches. Tyrone Tracy, he ended up getting carted off at the end of the game, but he played the majority of it, so that's why I threw him on here. 36 yards, only 1 catch for -3 yards. And then Saquon Barkley. I kind of saved him for last. Just 56 yards, no involvement in the passing game.
Yeah, it's something you cannot bench him. You cannot bench him.
Yeah, but like, I also think there's a world where like he might cost you a championship if you manage to make it with him.
Like, here's my fear:
him and Jefferson.
I get that, but his playoff run is so good, bro. Like on paper, it's Vegas, Washington, Buffalo, Washington. week 18 if you're playing 18 championship. You shouldn't be.
Oh,
So count Washington out.
so sorry.
So theoretically, it's Vegas, Washington, Buffalo for his 3 playoff matchups. Those are all top 12 matchups. Like, theoretically, Barkley should be going off in the next couple weeks. They have the Chargers next week on Monday night. It's prime time. Anything can happen. I am not going to bench Barkley in any leagues. You can maybe look to, like, flex him out. Like, if you have, like, Javonte Williams and Christian McCaffrey and Saquon Barkley, sure, I would probably put Javonte in my flex or running back 2 spot, but there's no world I would ever be benching Barkley. He would still be in my lineup at some point. But I agree.
You're not playing him with confidence.
No, you're not playing. Yes, you're not playing him like, oh, I have Saquon Barkley. You're playing him like, oh, I gotta start Saquon Barkley. It's been rough, and the wear and tear of him last season is obviously taking a toll on his body.
Yeah, and then the offensive line's been banged up as well, so that plays a part. The Eagles' offense is just real weird, and there's problems in Philly. Jalen Hurts doesn't want to run the tush push anymore. Like, apparently he hates it now. I don't know. I don't know what's going on in Philadelphia.
I have no idea. I got nothing, so I can't really comment.
Yeah. Wide receivers. There's a bunch. This list is long. Wan'Dale Robinson.
Love
it for PPR. 7 grabs, but only 34 yards. He had the classic Wan'Dale special. Devonta Smith. A.J. Brown ate all those targets. Emeka Egbuka, Jalen Waddle, Michael Wilson. He only 3 for 36, but he did have 7 targets. And now with Marvin Harrison out there, I still think you continue to ride with Michael Wilson. DK Metcalf, Chimere Dike, who I was real hyped on. He had 1 catch for 8 yards and a fumble. Steph Diggs.
I'll take that dollar in the mail, my guy.
Yeah. Steph Diggs, wasn't needed. The touchdowns went to Booty and Kyle Williams, so Stephon Diggs wasn't really involved on Monday. Trey Tucker, Brian Thomas Jr., DJ Moore, Roma Dunze, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Troy Franklin, Ricky Pearsall, Justin Jefferson, Michael Pittman, Khalil Shakir, Zay Flowers. All rough weeks. Like, Zay Flowers was 2 for 6 with a fumble. Shakir, 1 catch. Pittman, 1 catch. Jefferson was 2 catches, 4 yards. Roma Dunze was 2 catches, 8 yards. Jackson Smith and Jigba, you're obviously not going to worry about him going forward, but the Vikings, he was only 2 for 23, which you hate, but he at least you could continue playing with confidence. These other guys, they kind of fall in this teeter. Like, Roma Dunze hasn't been fantasy relevant now for what feels like 4 or 5 weeks.
Yeah, the Roma Dunze thing's weird. Like you said, I'm not really worried about JSN. Like, it is what it is. That whole offense wasn't needed. They were kind of just coasting here and there. But a ton of big-time receivers just absolutely shitting the bed this week. And this is when we need these guys to step up. Week 13, 14, 15. Like, it's all games that matter. Like, I get these aren't technically playoff games, but if you're trying to make the playoffs, these kind of are playoff games. Like, these games matter that much, because if you lose, you theoretically can't make the playoffs. So it's win or in. So to have all of these guys come up on this end of the players of the week, the bad players of the week, it was a rough wide receiver week this week.
Yeah, like, I didn't even bring up Jordan Addison. Like, he could have found his way on here as well.
Yeah.
But like, the Vikings passing game, like, you're obviously not going to bench Justin Jefferson, but like, man, playing him is tough. Addison, you can pivot out of him. Michael Pittman, like, how much is the Daniel Jones injury affecting him? I know Alec Pierce had a good game. He was a top 15 play, but Michael Pittman's supposed to be the alpha of this room. And now it's kind of being like, well, now there's other options. Tyler Warren's still obviously heavily involved. We're seeing Alec Pierce really involved. That, like, they can move away from Michael Pittman, and that kind of hurts because he's been so good this year.
Yeah, having that many receiving options with Tyler Warren, Josh Downs isn't involved, but he's still an option. Alec Pierce has been really involved. Michael Pittman, like, it's kind of anyone's game. It's a toss-up, so you can't really start Pittman the way you were in the beginning of the year. It was just very confident, but it's kind of rough.
Yeah, Emeka Egbuka, he's on here, but I don't worry about him per se. I think a lot of that's just Baker being banged up. Like, Baker probably shouldn't have played on Sunday with the shoulder injury. but I think Ibuka, I think that's the reason you found Ibuka on this list. I mean, I'm not worried about him either. Michael Wilson, if Marvin Harrison's not out there, I think you can continue playing him. DK Metcalf has been so frustrating this year, and like it's tough to move on from him as well. But if you can pivot out of him, I'd be doing it. I think he is now entering like he's a second flex start. Like if you're only playing one flex, I think you can pivot out of DK Metcalf, but two flex is where like I think that's where he falls into the range of a playable option.
Yeah, as someone who has DK and honestly Justin Jefferson, I'm not thrilled to have either of those guys going forward, but I find myself in a week where I have to start DK again in my double flex, so I'm not thrilled about it, but I've looked at free agents. He is the best option. He's thankfully got a decent matchup with Baltimore, so we'll let it rock and we'll see what happens, but again, it's with zero confidence.
Yeah, and then with like Khalil Shakir and Stephon Diggs and Zay Flowers, like there's going to be weeks where they're just like not involved. And like Stephon Diggs' situation, New England did win, but Drake May is starting to get everyone involved in this offense. We've seen Kyle Williams now score 2 touchdowns in the span of a couple weeks, and their running backs. We probably could have brought up Travion Henderson in the running back situation. He was right outside the top 24, but they pivoted to Ramondre, so now who knows what the New England backfield's going to look like. But Diggs is going to have spike weeks, and then he's going to have weeks like this where, you know, Drake May finds other people involved, and then obviously that falls into the same boat with Khalil Shakir and Zay Flowers, but that's kind of already been a known commodity with them in Buffalo and Baltimore.
Yeah, I agree. I think with that whole situation in New England, it's Drake May's so good, he can get the ball to anyone. It's a very Baker Mayfield situation where he will use anyone that's on the field. It does not matter because of how talented he is with the ball in his hands. Same thing with Jordan Love. Like it doesn't matter who his weapons are. He's going to spread the ball around and everyone's going to get a little bit of everything. And every given week, everyone's different. It's going to be a spike week. It could be Christian Watson. It could be Jordan Reed. It could be Dontavian Wicks this week. Tucker Kraft when he was in the offense. Like any given week for these these really good quarterbacks, it's crazy. So expect the exact same thing in New England with Booty and Diggs and Hunter Henry and the running back situations. And they love Austin Hooper too. Like they love their mismatching tight ends. So it's a game changer with what's going on with Drake May in New England.
Yeah. Ricky Pearsall, we moving on from
him? I would still stash him because of how good he was in the beginning of the year. He was, but at some point for sure. Like I'm not going to play him in the playoffs unless he has like a Mondo week this week. Well, he's on a bye. He's not even playing this week. He's not even playing. He's on a bye. You could probably bend. Yeah, you could cut him. I thought that one through because he can't go off this week. And then
you love when the brain works. Just talk yourself through. Like never mind. Get rid of him.
I instantly said that he has to go off this week. I thought of the matchups, and literally in my head it just said bye, and I'm like, well, he's not playing this week, so he's you could not play him in the playoffs. So,
how about Brian Thomas Jr.? This one's tough.
I'm not playing him.
We know the talent. Are you dropping him?
No.
Okay, so you're still hold ship with BTJ.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, if you manage to get to the playoffs with him, kudos to you. And if he does have a spike week, it's going to be tough to not put him back in that lineup.
I'm excited for next year to see what happens.
Me too. I love that guy. I'll still be in. He's going to be a discount. He's going to be nice price.
He is.
For BTJ. Him or DK Metcalf? Who would you rather play this week?
DK Metcalf.
Okay, Jags are playing.
Yeah, no. Sauce Gardner got hurt. Keep that in mind.
Yep.
So
tight ends. Juwan
everyone
Johnson.
That's not the top guys.
Yeah. Juwan Johnson couldn't ride the Johnson this week. 5 for 39. Mark Andrews, 4 for 47. That's more matchup based. I think if you started Mark Andrews, you would have been thrilled with 8.7 points in full PPR, but not against the Bengals.
Agree.
Jake Ferguson, Theo Johnson, Colston Loveland was 3 for 28, but he saw 6 targets. So I'm not like panicking on Colston Loveland's involvement, even though like Cole Kmet saw the touchdown. 6 targets. It's good to see Dallas Goedert, Oronde Gadsden, David Njoku. If you started Njoku, I'm so sorry that you're still in that boat. Like you could have pivoted weeks ago. But yeah, 2 for 4. I put him on here because, he was a fantasy darling, and I swung and missed big on that one.
Mm-hmm. Did you say Gadsden?
Yeah, Rondé Gatson, 1 for 27.
You sent him. Yeah, he had a rough matchup. There was a lot of tight ends that just absolutely shit the bed. Dallas Goddard. Theo Johnson had a rough game, but again, like Colson Loveland, Johnson had 8 targets. Yeah, he was constantly being involved.
They were trying to find him downfield, too. Like, good to see him try to stretch the field with him.
He should have had a touchdown catch. Obviously, he dropped it because any given pass, Theo Johnson can catch it. It's literally a toss-up. It's a 50-50 chance if he catches the ball or not. It's kind of rough, but he's so explosive and he's so athletic. He makes plays and he separates. He just needs to work on his concentration, start bringing in these easy catches. Not that the touchdown catch was easy, but it went right through his hands, and Jackson Dart hit him on a dime. It was on a line. It should have been a touchdown, and he dropped it. So
maybe a full off season with Jackson Dart will help him with that.
I think Theo Johnson's going to be our starting tight end next year, and I think he's going to be really involved. I agree. Quick Jackson Dart statement. People kept asking if he's going to change his playing style, especially after getting hit.
Bodied.
He got bodied, and he was like, "Big hits are part of the game. I'm not changing a thing." And I'm like, "This kid's gonna die," and I'm fine with that. It wasn't like a hit that could have hurt his head. He just got blown up on the sidelines and rolled through. But there are hits that I want him to not take. That one I was fine with him taking.
He could have got out of bounds, and it would have been.
He could have.
He would have got the
just
same amount of
easily
yards
ran out.
Stretching that play.
But God,
you might not have him for a long time, but it'll be a good time. Him and Cam Scatterbo. You might get 4 years out of the two of them.
Oh, yeah, combined. 4 years combined. Two each, baby.
Ready to move on? Thursday Night Football. It's a good one.
Yeah, dude. Let's get it.
Thursday night, Dallas Cowboys travel to Detroit to take on the Lions. Lions are 3-point home favorites on Thursday. The over-under at a very, very nice 54.5. Dallas, we brought it up earlier. They're playing good football. Beat the Eagles, beat the Chiefs in a span of 4 days. Now you get the Lions, and the Lions might not have Amon-Ra St. Brown, so we'll see how that works. George Pickens is questionable. He was questionable coming in the last week as well. He'll be out there.
He's been practicing in full. He's going to be good.
Yeah. Really, this is the classic situation where, I'm playing my pieces if I have them on either side. I think Jared Goff's a fine option this week if he's your quarterback, and, Drake May's on a bye, so maybe Jared Goff is your pivot option there. I think against Dallas, that's a great matchup. Dak Prescott, I think you continue to roll with him. George Pickens, CeeDee Lamb, Javonte Williams, tough matchup for him, but we saw Josh Jacobs get 83 yards on the ground on them, and you brought it up. They're starting to get him back involved in the passing game, and that's where he sees his value for fantasy. Jake Ferguson's really the tough one on the Cowboys because since CeeDee Lamb's been back, he's kind of been relegated to third or fourth option of this offense.
Yeah, but I think Jake Ferguson owners kind of, and I know I'm one of them in a lot of leagues, I put myself in a spot where there's not a better tight end on the market, and it's not going to happen to find a replacement at this point, so I have to just keep going with Jake Ferguson, unfortunately.
Yeah, I agree. But he's the one that I'm least confident in. And then on the Lions side, Jahmyr Gibbs wasn't great on Thursday. David Montgomery, he's the question. I don't know if you play Montgomery, but Gibbs and Williams are locks in your lineup, and I think Goff's a good stream option at quarterback. Montgomery's a fine low end, right outside the top 24 running backs, maybe a good double flex play.
I was going to say, I would definitely start him in double flex leagues. And then there are some leagues, let's say you have McCaffrey who's not on, and you need a flex play because your other flex is now your RB2 because McCaffrey being out. I'm cool playing Montgomery if you have to play him just based off the matchup versus Dallas. They don't really have a run defense. But
the teams on bye have viable fantasy option running back. You guys with Tracy and Singletary, New England with Ramondre and Trevion, Carolina with Rico and Chuba, and then San Francisco with McCaffrey. That David Montgomery does become taking bye
more valuable
into account. Yeah, kind of approaches into that RB2 range.
Yeah, for sure. And like you said, Prescott, Goff, Javonte, Gibbs. Lamb, Pickens, Amon-Ra if he plays, but I don't think he's going to play. J-Mo, all these guys I'm playing. I mean, if I have any guy that's playing,
does play, you're putting him in.
100%. You're not going to bench Amon-Ra if he plays versus Dallas. Like, come on, that in a prime time Thursday night game, in a game that really means a lot, because if Dallas wins, they're only a game behind Detroit then at this point. So that could easily have playoff standing implements. So this game matters.
Detroit has 7 wins, Dallas has 6, and both these teams fighting for a playoff spot. Ultimately, I do think Dallas's luck kind of runs out here. I think Detroit takes this one.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I get obviously if they lose their luck runs out, but I think Dallas plays hard, and I think this game's going to be close, and I do think Detroit wins ultimately, but I think it's going to be a phenomenal game.
I took it as beating these high level teams.
Yeah, for sure.
That roller coaster runs that high is kind of hard to maintain. But speaking 100%. Of playoffs, with fantasy playoffs starting next week, I think on Tuesday we're going to kind of look at the real life NFL playoffs, and we're going to kind of look at the seedings and who do we trust going in and sort of focus on real life on Tuesday, kind of talk NFL playoff scenarios.
Yeah, I'm cool with that for sure.
Both going Detroit?
Yeah, going Detroit.
Throw it in the comments if you guys think Dallas continues this high, or anything else that you may have agreed or disagreed with on, and whatnot. And as we move on here, like, rate, subscribe, review. If you haven't already, you made it this far, get to it, please. Help grow the community. We appreciate all the support from you guys. Anything else before we sign off?
I don't think so. Just everyone good luck going into the playoffs. Obviously, we'll do Thursday's episode,
we'll see you Thursday.
We'll be out before then, but get those waivers, get those claims. It could very easily be the make or break week, because let me tell you, I'm make or break. I got to win or I'm out, so I feel the pressure.
Pick up Chris Rodriguez. He's a good waiver option. He's the guy in Washington. There's the podcast. That's Nick. I'm Theo. We'll see you guys on Thursday.
Bye.
Toodle-doo.